Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what is up? The King of Lighting is here today to talk about Magi, the Labyrinth of Magic, chapters 251 through 254 review. Now, before I get started, I'm going to save 255 for another day. And the reason why is because in that chapter, they talk about what Solomon's will really is. And I was like, whoa, that may take some time to actually discuss and talk about. And I want to keep this video as short as possible. So I'll just do 255 with 256 when that chapter comes out. Now, these chapters are basically, it ends off with a shift in the fight. So we go from Hakuryuu and Alibaba to Aladdin and Judar. And the main meat of all these chapters are Alibaba and Hakuryuu confrontation. Everything seems a-okay and peachy, and then things take a turn for the worse very quick. And then it starts off with Kohen. So let's start there at the beginning. First of all, in chapter 251, Kohen has come to the conclusion at the beginning of the chapter that, yeah, he is probably to blame for Hakuryuu's current status, which he is. Let's keep it real here. Because he, first of all, he says that I could have made him king, or I could have strived to make him a king, but I chose not to because of Rengyoku-en and her actions and her presence over Hakuryuu. And he said, fuck it. I'd rather him suffer and be, I wouldn't say ostracized, but pretty much not be considered a key factor in all of this. And he was so fucking wrong. He was so dead wrong because all of this is now going down because Hakuryuu's malice for his mother, his rage for his mother, was huge. Far more than he anticipated, Kohen. And you have Hakuryuu like, yo, let's have an Imperial Edict here. I'm going to kill Kohen. And if you side with Kohen, or if you, I forgot what the Imperial Edict said specifically, but I remember, like, if you did something in Kohen's favor, it was immediate execution. No ifs, ands, or buts. No leeway. No comfort room. Right? Like a freaking, like an airplane seat. No comfort room, no leeway. You're like, shit, I'm fucking encased. If you're big like me, you're like, shit, fuck. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to touch you. That's the way it is. That's how he rolls right now. So, obviously, Kohen is not going to die for Hakuryuu because he has his own ambitions and he has his own will. And his boys are like, fucking, yeah. Like, we are going to follow you no matter what happens because, you know, we're your boys, we're your mates. So, the thing here is that the country, it looks like the country is going to split in two. One side, Hakuryuu, the other side, Kohen. Very fascinating. Now, that's assuming that Alibaba doesn't actually usurp Hakuryuu, which I don't think he will, because the story would be too damn boring without someone like Hakuryuu and Judar in the darkness trying to fight everybody. In fact, I remember the author of the series did state that there were going to be a lot of character deaths. I can see Kohen, Komei, and Koha die at the hands of Hakuryuu and Judar. I can see this. I can see this shit going down. I can even see him killing his own sister. I can see it happening. Now, that being said, so he's come to the conclusion that, yeah, he's probably to blame. And all of a sudden, like, wait a second, hold on, where's Alibaba? And Alibaba has gone to go see Hakuryuu himself with Aladdin. And I was like, no, what the fuck are you doing? I mean, granted, they didn't know the details of how Hakuryuu, fucked up moms. But it's like, you really could have thought this through. Like, going to see Hakuryuu when maybe they didn't hear the Imperial Edict. I don't think they did. But, because if they had stayed around and heard the Imperial Edict, and realized Hakuryuu was gonna kill Kohen, and I'm gonna kill those who try and go with him, then they would have realized right then and there that something's a little bit funky. But instead, they rush over to Hakuryuu, the capital. I forgot what it's called. Rakusho, I think it's called. Either way, they go to the capital because they're flying over there, and on the way there, you have Alibaba think that I can tell him the story of Amatoran, and that's gonna change his mind. And in the next chapter, 552, when he's talking to Hakuryuu and everything seems all buddy-buddy, like, yeah, man, like, you got a little bit taller. Like, how you doing, man? How's everything been? It's been a while since I've seen you. How's the family? Yeah. Well, his family's fucked up, but we all know. And everything is, going swell. And all of a sudden, it's like, yeah. So Hakuryuu's like, yeah, so yeah, like let's stop the bullshit. All right? Let's talk about why you really came here. To join my side, to kill Koen, and retake your country. Like, what the fuck? And then, so that's when things start going down, obviously. And then you have Alibaba say, well, no, I'm here to stop the war. And he's telling Amatoran's story, the man already knew. You see, Judar, he was there. He was watching the entire thing. And through his magic, he was able to show Hakuryuu what happened in Amatoran too. What the fuck? Goddamn 10% battery life. Shit. So, didn't matter. The story of Amatoran had no effect whatsoever on Hakuryuu's current status. That's scary. Because, well, actually, it's scary, but at the same time, it's to be expected, because he already stated before that we're just going to fight everything. We're going to annihilate, we're going to eradicate anything that goes against our conviction, that goes against our existence. And we're going to fight destiny. All the way through. All the way through. In a sea of blood and bodies. We don't care. They're on some other level shit. They really are. But that's why we need him in the story. That's why Alibaba can't win against Hakuryuu at this point in time. Hakuryuu's impact on the story has been, for the most part, before the event of Rengyokuin, not that large. Now it's massive, and we gotta make sure that he stays, at this point in time, the main villain. Let's keep it real here. Now, moving on to when they start fighting. Because he realizes, okay, so I can't change him. And initially, Hakuryuu tries to use the Jin Bilal. Again, I'm butchering the name. I'll work on it. I'm pretty sure you guys are going to say this is how you pronounce it in the comment section. So I'll look for you guys in the comment section. I didn't see it in the last video because I didn't check the last video. But this video, put in this video too. Now, here's the thing. It didn't work because, well, it worked on Alibaba. It didn't work that much on Aladdin because of the board, which kind of confused me because I thought, wait, what's going on? I thought that like this was like a telepathic attack, but he could block it from the board. I mean, well, I guess in this sense, because even though it's telepathy, even though it's a telepathic attack, it still uses Rook. So I guess in that sense it works. But he was still effective, but not that much. And he's able to save Aladdin. And then that's when, they start going, fisticuffs. So you have Judar versus Aladdin. You have Alibaba versus Hakuryuu. And initially the fight starts off where Hakuryuu, he's going full Jin equip. He's punking. Like fucking spears, like stabs, all types of shit. Alright? Looking like Ohon in fucking Kingdom. I'm like, shit. Like, whoa, spear techniques. Like, yeah. I'm like, fucking goddamn. But Aladdin is Alibaba was actually able to do fairly well. And he's able to block a few attacks. And the entire time they're talking. And what was fascinating... Okay, let me bring it back. Beforehand, Alibaba and Hakuryuu were talking. And Hakuryuu was talking specifically about the hypocrisy of Alibaba. Which was a little bit interesting. Because he points out that when it comes to Alibaba, he may seem like the nice guy, and he may seem like the person who's always covered in light, and he's brilliant, and so on and so forth. But the way Hakuryuu described it made it seem as if like he was like the real villain, like as if like he was a genuine bad guy. And I saved the page because it was fascinating. So you have Hakuryuu say this to Alibaba, and what he's doing is that he's basically like he has his fist on Alibaba's chest in chapter 252. And I quote, I guess whatever. All right, here we go. You naturally approach someone while telling them that you wish for their happiness. Then you take what is in his heart that he doesn't want anyone to touch, and you take it, rip it out, and do anything in order to realize, next page, what you think to be the right world. Your hypocrisy makes me sick. Now that's fascinating. That's fascinating. Because he does do that. It's not like he's wrong. I mean, granted, he does it so you can realize the error of your ways. But from the perspective of someone who is completely fallen into depravity, you have to understand that the reason why Hakuryuu is doing what he's doing is because he thinks he's right. And he believes that it is his it should be his right to go against the confounds of destiny. However, when you go against Solomon's will, you fall into that depravity. And what's fascinating is it's not more or less good and evil now. All right? So, like, that's why I think a lot of people are because, like, you would assume, yeah, good and evil. Black Rook, they're the ones who fall into depravity. They're the ones who, they strayed away from the right path. That's the way it looked like. And the ones with the white Rook, not the case. But in actuality, that doesn't make them evil. Hakuryuu isn't evil. At this point in time, he's just bad-natured. And from the perspective of Alibaba, he would be considered good-natured. Almost like Enel and Gonfall in One Piece. You have the bad-natured god, you have the good-natured god. They're good-natured, bad-natured. That's what you have right now. It's fascinating. It really is. I'm like, geez. Like this is... Like, I didn't see this coming. But when you look at it from his perspective, yeah, they're going to fight the world. So, again, Hakuryuu says, I'm going to fight the world. I'm going to fight destiny. All the way through. But it's not because he's evil. It's because he really wants to try and remove the shackles of destiny. Destiny is the shackle. You can't stray from the path. But they want to be free. And if that means that they need to fight everybody in order to be free, then so be it. It's fascinating. It really is. At least that's the way I see it at this point in time. So they start fighting, and again, like, he's doing very well. And then so I forgot. Okay, the fight gets a lot more serious when Alibaba realized. Well, Hakuryuu tells him about what he did to the soldiers. How he said pretty much, yeah, like, I put plants in their brain so I could control them, so they could fight better, pretty much. And I was like, shit. And so Alibaba starts fighting serious then, because he realizes, okay, so if he's going to do this to his own soldiers, he's going to do it to the people of Balbad. And I can't have that. I can't have that. So they continue fighting, and it gets a lot more serious. And then the fight ends off with another very fascinating quote, because it's a quote that I think is very important, because to me, it's one of the key reasons why Alibaba, I think, falls short on so many fronts. And let me find the fucking page. The page is... where's the page? It's about him not being able... Here we go. So, you have Alibaba have a speech, pretty much. And then, at the end of the speech, because, you have Hakuryuu talking about his hypocrisy all the time. But then, Alibaba... Well, Hakuryuu says this. Let me just talk about what he said. He said this, and I quote, "Because you are nothing more than a king vessel who has always fought under someone else, unable to do anything on your own." That to me is very, very important, because Alibaba doesn't have a kingdom of his own. He's a fucking king's vessel, but he has no kingdom of his own. Granted, Kome and Koa are exceptions, but it's true. From that standpoint, it's true. Though I would probably put the hypocrisy also on Hakuryuu's case, because Hakuryuu, in a sense, was not able to do what he did without Judar's help. But I think in Hakuryuu's case, he's fully aware of that, and he accepts that. In Alibaba's case, to a certain degree, he understands it. But if he wants to be able to actually change the world to how he sees fit, because there's a difference here between Alibaba and Hakuryuu. Hakuryuu and Judar, they're on the same page. They're on the same boat. No one among the king vessel users, not Sinbad, not Kome, Koha, Koen, not Hakuryuu, not Mu, no one is on the same page as Alibaba. Alibaba has his own beliefs. He has his own way of doing things. The only one that you can say is on the same page is Aladdin, but Aladdin's not a king vessel. And in the case of Judar and Hakuryuu, they're the only ones who have fallen to depravity. So in the case of Alibaba, yes, he has Aladdin to help him too, but he has to establish his own kingdom. He has to establish his own law, his own rule, where he can actually have his ideas flourish and then try and branch off to other parts of the globe. He has to amass power. It comes down to power, people. Hakuryuu and Judar, they have fucking power, and they're on the same damn page, and they're cruising right now. Alibaba, Aladdin, not even fucking close. Not even fucking close. That's very important. It's so goddamn important. Which is why, honestly, I believe that if Alibaba were to marry Kyogoku, and you have Koen, Kome, Koha die at the hands of Hakuryuu, the only person left to take the heir of being the emperor of the Ko Empire would be Alibaba. So, that's the way I see it. So, basically that fight ends off on that note. And then we go over to Judar and Aladdin, where, Judar's punking. He's just fucking midget. And all of a sudden, black lightning, rain, no vectors. I was like, fuck, that's crazy. So, that was a very nice cliffhanger. And they go more into detail on chapter 255, but I'll say that for another damn day. So, overall, these chapters, I did like chapter 254 and 253 more so than 251 and 252. I'll be very honest about that. For those two chapters, for the latter, 251 and 252, I'll give a rating of probably a good plus. To good plus. For 253 and 54, I'll go a peg above. So good plus to great. So that being said, I'm done. I will see you guys and gals later. Rate the video, comment, subscribe. You guys know the damn gist. It's not that damn hard. Have a nice one.